become successful, they may not be able to understand how to deal with that. So their response at times can be in a negative way, and they may not even realize it. Just subliminally, they may be trying to project a negative opinion to you. We have to be careful where. I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish your thought.
No, I was just saying that at times we really have to be careful and aware of the information that we seek, because not everyone has your best interest. Not everyone wants you. You know, the world wants you to believe that everyone loves a winner, and that's not really the case. That's not really the case. I can imagine when your parents told people they was doing the unheard. It was unheard of them to someone, a black couple, going to start a radio station. I mean, it's like you're talking a alien or something.
Oh, no. And Garrett can tell you that, no, they definitely did not get that kind of warm fuzzies from the town of Warrenton. Warrenton is definitely a small rural community, and not only did they start a radio station, but neither one of my parents at the time had a background in radio. My dad's background at the time was in engineering, and I'm not talking about radio engineering, and Mom's background was actually as a guidance counselor. What had happened was that they listened to the radio station at that time, which would have been like in the 70s, and they basically listened, and they were big jazz fans, and they didn't hear any jazz on the station. So I actually went to speak to some high school here locally about a month and a half ago, and I told the hip-hop folks that same thing. I was basically like, you turn on the radio, kind of like what we were talking about with Garrett. You don't hear what you want to in the hip-hop world, then you might have to start your own. It might not be a radio station, because radio stations can be very expensive, but it might be like a satellite radio station. It might be a podcast. It might be a low-power radio station. But if you're not finding what you want on the air, no matter what it is that you want, like whether you want country, whether you want hip-hop, but if you're not finding it in the normal channels, sometimes you have to create your own. So that was kind of my parents' mentality. And then they've gone on to others. Mom is now retired, but before retiring, she was a major philanthropist and the first president of the Golden Leaf Foundation, and Dad is now a well-known local artist. So they definitely have still kept that same kind of drive going well into their, well, Dad is about to hit around the 80 mark, and Mom is not that far behind.
I mean, I love their story. To have the audacity to believe, the nerve of them to believe that they can create something, the nerve of them to believe that they can change the narrative, the nerve of them to believe that our great-great-great-grandkids will be speaking about us years from now, saying, look at what our grandparents did. You know, look at what our grandparents did. You know, so for them to step into their blueprint, I just want to touch on Mr. Davis when he was speaking about it wasn't the colon, I believe it was prostate. I'm sorry,
yes.
Prostate or so. You know, this is something that we have to understand. That I believe it was Lauryn Hill that said, "How you going to win if you ain't right within?" Right? Warren Buffett said the best investment you can make is investing in yourself. So all the material things that we see on the outside, it's just byproducts of your success. Before you can actually achieve and enjoy that success, you have to work within. You have to work within.
Yeah, I don't think enough of us do that, because I know a lot of times we get so caught up in the rat race of trying to be successful that we don't really think about the internal and the health aspect of what we're doing and things of that nature, because sometimes we're so caught up in the immediate gains of what's going on that we're trying to get that quick dollar or that fast buck, not thinking about how that's going to impact you on the long run.
Right.
So tell us, how did you get into motivational speaking, and just tell us a little bit about your personal history. And I'm actually going to look up an article that dealt with what we're talking about in terms of that kind of the physical health being just as important as the mental. But if you would, Mr. Bumpus, tell us a little bit about your own personal story and how you got involved in doing this kind of work and some of the clients that you're working with.
In the beginning, right? In the beginning, I had my own clothing company or so, and menswear. We sold to most of the stores that you know of, Macy's and all these other different big box stores. So I was on the high. I mean, we had our clothes manufactured all over the world and sold in various stores, big box stores. And one day, I found myself in my father's hospital room, and he was laying in his bed, in his hospital bed, and he was dying of lung cancer. So he looked at my mother and he looked at me and he called his mother. And I told him, it's okay, you can go. And he took his last breath.
Wow.
So it shook my world. It shook my foundation. You know, my hero, my best friend, was gone. So I began to write in my journal, and I decided I could hear my father saying that someone needs to read what you're writing. Someone needs to hear what you're writing. So we turned the journal into a book, and we turned the book into a bestseller, and we turned the bestseller into #1 best-selling author. So I'm saying that to say that, to speak to Miss Nikki, that we all have a story in us, and don't be selfish and not to share it. Someone out there needs to hear her story, whether it be in the book or in the play, preferably both. But someone somewhere is at the end of their road, and they need to hear her story. Because you have no idea the people that stop me in the airport or through my travels and say that, you know, your book saved my life. That wasn't my intent. My intent was just to write my words down in my journal, but it was also therapeutic. So the book led me into speaking. And I get really a joy to see that my blueprint is, and my purpose is, to help people get out of their own way. Because there are so many of us in this world that are not experiencing a peace of mind and happiness. There are so many of us in this world that is walking around overweight. And I don't mean overweight physically, I mean overweight emotionally. We are carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. And I speak to that experience because one day I woke up and I went in the bathroom and I looked in the mirror and the left side of my face was twisted. And I thought I was dying. I thought I was having a stroke. Come to find out it was Bell palsy, or it is Bell palsy. But it was my mind and my body and my spirit telling me, you better get your life together or we're going to take you out of here.
Wow.
So I had to get my life together.
And oftentimes it's kind of like what both you and Garrett have talked about. We don't listen to those warning signals. I mean, the body is always giving us warning signals about different things, and because of our own biases about medicine and things of that nature, we don't listen to those warning signals, and the body and the mind are oftentimes going to tell us what's going on, but we don't want to listen to those. And the other thing I was just curious from you, Mr. Bumpus, do you ever get tired? Because you talk about the title of your book, Are You Really Listening? I'm sure that sometimes when you listen to some of these people that are the supposed leaders of the free world, that you must really think that they're not listening either, because sometimes I think that they enjoy talking to themselves in whatever form they feel like talking, whether that's a tweet or a Facebook message or whatever, versus actually trying to listen to the rest of the world that's trying to tell them something.
Yeah, Mark, I consider a category of people expert complainers. That's all they want to do. If it's raining outside, if they wish the sun come out. The sun come out, they wish it was raining. So whatever it is, if you're in January, they can't wait until March get here. March get here, they can't wait until July. So there are people in the world that's just expert complainers. No matter what it is, what is going on, if you give them $1 million, they say, "How come you didn't give me $1,000,001?" So no, whatever it is, they're gonna complain something out. But the root of that is that they are going through something internally. They are going through something internally, and they're not listening to their body. And their body is telling them that, listen, you need to straighten it out. Years ago, our grandparents used to tell us, would say that, someone is full of ish. And now I really understand that it just wasn't a phrase. They really meant that. You can have so many toxins just alone in your colon that will affect you mentally.
Yes.
It will block you, and it will distract you. It will distract you from becoming the best version that you want to be.
Well, I'm going to share this article with both of you. But Garrett, if you're still on the phone and everything, have you ever had these kind of situations where you had to stop yourself from doubting yourself? Or did you just kind of like jump right into it? Or were you kind of like what Daryl was talking about, and what I mentioned, where there were times that you might have stopped yourself from having whatever that glory was that you don't have, that you did not get? Hello? Hello?
All right. It seems like Mark escaped from us, or his phone dropped. So, Mr. Bumper, are you still on the line?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And we'll see if we can get Mark back in 1 second. And hold tight. We'll be right back. Hey, y'all, the Straight Talk with Dean and Mark.
Bass players, best thing you can do for your overall sound. You've got to see this. New Basstone Incorporated makes Nightwalker bass guitar tube preamps. This preamp will give your sound such a boost, it's just incredible. Try it today. Try it today now. A great sounding bass guitar will make for a great sounding band. Make your band sound at its best. Best thing you can do for your bass guitar sound. NewBassTone.com. NewBassTone.com.
Are you looking to make your next event sizzle? Then you want to get in touch with Lee Entertainment. Mark Lee, the founder of Lee Entertainment, has worked with such notable festivals as the Art of Cool, the National Black Theater Festival, the Bull Durham Blues Festival, and the Durham Centerfest, as well as the Festival of the Eno. And it definitely can provide you with some great entertainers, as well as help you make your event sizzle if you're looking forward to trying to have an event in your town. Mark Lee is willing to travel anywhere in this country to make your event sizzle, and has entertainers that are also willing to travel as well. So if you're looking for quality entertainment, definitely get in touch at bluesradio@gmail.com.
All right, we're back. Hey, Mark, you there?
I'm back. I don't know what happened. We lost Garrett some kind
like
of way, but I escaped.
He left the call a while ago, man. I think he may have had to go do something. So
all right, that's no problem. So those things happen, but yeah, somehow we disappeared on that and everything. But I do see that we have Alexandria Valadares on the line as well.
Yes, hi,
yes,
Mark.
we do.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for providing flexibility.
No problem. Glad to have you on there.